Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first edition this year of Inside Mercer Basketball as we now talk with Mercer head basketball coach Bob Hoffman about hoops in Macon, Georgia. Coach, first of all, for those who may be tuning in for the first time and not familiar with our program, this is your fourth year at Mercer. Share with us some of the things when you took this job 4 years ago you envisioned and some of those success that you felt like we've had.
Well, I thought it was important for us to have more visibility, not only in our local area in Middle Georgia, in Georgia itself, but all over the region and all the Southeast and all over the nation. And you do that one step at a time. We were able to win at Alabama and Auburn early on. That gave us some notoriety, gave us some wins. It helped us early on, but to sustain a program, you got to be visible. And this having this TV show is just another step in that direction. Mercer's had a great educational program for a long time, been well respected, well known. And when I came 4 years ago, the president gave me a charge. We want the athletic department to be known as well, just in the same venue, the same mindset as academics have been in the athletic arena. And that's what we're trying to do, one step at a time. We haven't got there yet. 2 years ago, we were in the championship game against East Tennessee State to go to the NCAA. Didn't get it done. Last year we lost in the semifinals, the Atlantic Sun. We've had some great players, Sam Mitchell, all kinds of guys over the years. But the last time we've been to the NCAA tournament was in 1985, and that's something we got to change, and we're on the course to doing that this year.
Now, Coach, another couple of things that have happened. Number one, we have really upgraded the level of competition for our homecoming games, and also the last 2 years we've hosted the Atlantic Sun Conference Championship at our place. So that also has increased the visibility for this program.
No doubt about it. And we're recruiting all over the country, trying to get different kinds of players in here. There's tremendous talent in the state of Georgia, in the Southeast. We've had some tremendous players come from North Carolina, players of the year out of Colorado. So we're making those baby steps. We feel like we're in a good position right now. I love the team we have. I love how they're playing together. They're doing a lot of great things on the floor and off the floor to make Mercer proud.
Now, we're going to break down the team in another segment later on this evening, but let's talk about, some years it seems like the non-conference schedule involves more travel than other years. You've just completed a 5-game road swing, about 5,000 miles. You've also...
Was it 5,000 miles?
At least, every bit of it, Coach.
Did we get the frequent flyer miles?
We will eventually. Eventually.
Don't take my miles.
And we've won 5 games on the road already. So let's talk about and recap as we are now in conference play. Let's drop back a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, talk about this early season non-conference schedule.
Well, the very first game we went to Missouri, and Frank Haith had just taken that program. Mike Anderson done a great job. They had tremendous talent coming back, but really wasn't respected in the polls early on. Then they started on a roll. We played them the second game of the year. Had a chance to get to 7 with about 5 minutes left in the contest. They're a tremendous team. Now they've continued, won every game since then. So when I was at halftime, we get our brains beat in. I made me feel a little bit better about it now. But that was our very first road game. And following that, we had some tough contests. We went right to Furman. They had a great season the year before, the Southern Conference, and we went in there, got a 20-point road victory and stayed on the road. That was a tremendous win for our program. Right away, I saw that our team had some toughness about it and had the ability to make plays on the road. And if you're able to do that after getting beat like we did at Missouri, I think that shows a lot about the character of these guys, and it's continued to show itself in the games following that.
And of course, within the past couple of weeks, we went to Seton Hall, took them to overtime, returned back to the state of Georgia, had Georgia tied at halftime, and then, folks, there was the win over Georgia Tech. What do we think about the win over Georgia Tech?
We ended up beating Georgia Tech. That was a good win. The guys played well, did a great job. It was amazing the last 5 minutes what they were able to accomplish in that game. And I think the confidence continued to grow and build from that. Then we went to Tulsa. Didn't get it done, 6-point loss, but we played really well right after Christmas. You know, and then you're traveling all across the country again, play at Navy, get a W. So that was a tremendous start to the season. We've had a lot of games already. I'm tired just thinking about it.
Now, you've already recorded 10 wins as we tape this program this evening, non-conference games ahead. Did you accomplish what we wanted to in the non-conference portion of the schedule?
No, I want to be undefeated.
Undefeated. Always the perfectionist.
No, I want to be undefeated. No, I mean, I love where we are. We could have won some games, we could have lost some that we won, but I think there's still steps and there's still strides that we can make in the days ahead. It's exciting to see where we are. I believe our guys are gaining confidence with every possession and every game that we play.
All right, Coach, from Wild Wings Cafe in Macon, Georgia, you're watching Inside Mercer Basketball.
Yay!
I have purchased 5 Jeeps here at 5 Star. And my sister-in-law from Florida actually came up and purchased a Jeep here. The way you're treated, the satisfaction, the service, just overall good experience. And, you know, for me to come back that many times speaks for itself.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
I was looking through the paper and I saw a really good ad from 5 Star Ford in Warner Robins. So when I went, I was actually really picky and my salesperson worked with me until I finally found the truck that I liked, and it was a black Ford 2011 F-150 XLT Super Crew. And it actually has an EcoBoost, so it's a little bit better on gas, and I love it. I would definitely recommend 5 Star to all my friends.
Back with Inside Mercer Basketball, we're talking with head coach Bob Hoffman. Coach, early in the year, the exhibition game and the first regular season game, probably some fans were looking at this team and saying, who's going to score, who's going to do this? Those were close games that fans just assume you're going to win by big margins, but that is not necessarily the case at the start of the season.
Well, it's really hard. I mean, anytime you only have a couple weeks, putting everything in and making sure you're doing the right things and covering everything, it's a short amount of time. And if you're playing well-coached teams that know, I mean, I've been at different levels. There's great coaches at all levels. And there's great teams at all levels. And so you got to be prepared every night. And we play good teams, so we'll be ready when we get into regular season play. And I think that was good. Were you the ones making those questions? You were asking those questions too?
I think it was some extended media, maybe not the play-by-play guy.
But I think it's important to be stretched in those situations. If you win by 40 or 50, you're not really accomplishing what you need to accomplish, and playing different game type situations are going to make you better when you get to the regular season.
Now, as this team returned for this season, you start 4 sophomores, 1 senior, but those 4 sophomores, many of them got a lot of experience last year, including your point guard, Langston Hall.
Well, Langston started every game he's been here, has done a great job, really handles the ball, handles the team right, he knows where to get guys, and he plays at his pace, which is a big deal for a point guard. He doesn't get hurried up, he's right where he needs to be, and he continues to grow and build. His confidence level just continues to go to a high level. And then you got Bud Thomas, who's 2-time player of the year in Colorado, started the last 15 games for us, and he's rebounding the ball, making plays. most every night that we want him to do.
Yeah.
And he gets deflections every day. He's just playing really well.
Yeah. Now, going back to Langston just a moment, I thought Georgia Tech coach Brian Gregory played him an extreme compliment a few days ago when he said at this point Langston could probably start for any team in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Well, yeah, and that was nice, and I appreciate Coach Gregory doing that. And Langston's a great player.
Yeah.
In fact, in high school, he probably could have been All-State, a lot of things, but he was unselfish.
Yeah.
He got the ball to a teammate of his who ended up being All-State, but he got it to him at the right place at the right time for them to be successful, and that's what their coach felt like they needed to win. And he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a selfless kind of guy that wants to see his team win first, and our whole team has taken on that type of attitude.
You mentioned Langston, you mentioned Bud. We're going to have Jake Golin to visit with us in the next segment, but the heartbeat of this team probably starts around the kid from Stephensport, Wisconsin, Jake Golin.
Yeah, that's right. Jake's going to be here with us, but he makes play after play to make us look good. He's great at reading scouting reports. He stays on point of the task at hand. He understands what's important, and then he's made big shot after big shot. If it's not a defensive play he's making, he's made some big shots or a big pass, and he just sets the tone on the floor, off the floor, what we're going to do. He's been here 4 years, even though he's a sophomore. He's an old dude, but he's make play after play that really helps us win games.
Two of the guards we want to talk about, you like to call him the Gnat. That would be Kevin Canaveri, gives you quality minutes off the bench.
Yeah, Kevin played for state championship as a point guard in North Carolina, did great things there as a high school player, and now his second year, he gets in there and he changes the momentum of the game. He can guard guys, he makes them uncomfortable, just like Nats do. That's why we call him that. And he's a pest, and he does a great job of being a pest. And it changes the momentum not only for the guys on the floor, but the guys on the bench. They love to see him in there and the energy he brings.
Now, unfortunately, we lost Jabri Bryan to an injury, but Travis Smith became eligible the night of the Sanford game. Travis, what a great asset. Very athletic.
Yeah, the very first game Travis played at Sanford, a great win for us in overtime we had in Birmingham. It was his first game, and he was getting steal after steal. I knew right away with his energy that he brought to the floor that he was going to be a great contributor. We knew when we recruited him that he could put the ball on the floor, make extra passes, use ball screens, which really is a weakness of our team. We need more of that, and he brought that to our team. But more importantly, he was just another defense player because Jabri Bryan was guarding, making plays, and we were going to miss him. And Travis filled that void to the utmost. He's done a great job for us.
Then there are the Twin Towers, Daniel Corsi, Monty Brown, the Twin Towers +1, Paul Larson.
We call them the Whoppers.
What a great front line you've got.
Well, they call them the Whoppers, and then Paul's the Whopper Jr. So,
very good.
Burger King's not a sponsor, but we'll go ahead and
all right.
But they're big. They play well. We're able to run them in and out. They do so well together in the sense that they have different strengths, but they play so hard. And other teams may only have one Whopper, and we run two at them. That gives us a distinct advantage. And then you run Paul Larson in here, who was Player of the Year in North Carolina. He gives us great energy off the bench. So all three of those guys are playing at a high level and make this team unique in the sense that we didn't have that before. In the 4 years I've been here, I don't think they've had it in the past. That's what given us the size to be able to do what we've been able to do.
And we want to add Daniel Corsi, who was a great shot blocker in high school, is leading our conference in block shots as we speak.
Yeah, unbelievable how he can shoot jump hooks, block shots. In fact, I think he's had more than he's been credited for. He had 18 one night in a high school game. I was at it. He's an amazing, he has an amazing ability to block shots that helps our team immensely.
And there's more chemistry about this team we want to talk about later on in the show. You're watching Inside Mercer Basketball with head coach Bob Hoffman from Wild Wings Cafe in Macon, Georgia. Back at Wild Wings Cafe in Macon, Georgia, we're talking Inside Mercer Basketball. We're joined now by redshirt sophomore Jake Golin. Jake, pleasure to have you with us this evening. Jake, first off, I don't know of anyone who has worked harder in the training room, any athlete I've ever seen. When you got to Mercer, you had some injuries to overcome. First year or two, you continued to battle, and even today, when you come off the court after a game, I can see that grimace on your face, even after a win. Tell us some of the struggles you've had to overcome to get yourself physically able to play for Mercer.
It just got to be sort of a tedious deal with a few surgeries and stuff that I've had. Really, at this point, it's just all about managing it. And when we get to playing a couple games in a row and things like that, my foot can get pretty sore. But to this point, I think myself and the trainers that we have on staff have really found a good way, along with coach helping us out to manage practice times, to manage how we set up practice and our workouts to the point where I can still get enough done to be in shape and work on my game, but still like reserve some of my playing time for when it comes time to play on the floor for the game.
So the main point about all that is you get the double red shirt. He's going to graduate Christmas of his sophomore year. He's going to have more degrees than any college basketball player.
We'll call him Dr. Golin his senior season.
Just Dr. Golin.
Just graduated.
Jake, this team, the chemistry is so well. Everyone who watches this team, the way we play defense, the way we play as one unit, everybody says, I like this team. That didn't just happen overnight. Tell us how the unity and camaraderie among this team has developed.
It's incredible. I mean, I think you got to give credit to the guys that came before us. Starting with EJ, Danny, Flo, Calvin, some of those guys. Those guys all came in when Coach Hoffman came in. There was kind of a new mindset that he probably had something to do with. Just building a team atmosphere. And those guys really came in with good attitudes. And slowly over these last few years, we've had some good kids come in and have all had really good attitudes. And the thing is, we're not so worried about getting along with each other as most teams usually are. It's kind of come naturally. Right? I guess you can credit dumb luck to that a little bit, because every once in a while you just get guys that don't want to get along and it becomes an issue. But ours has been pretty natural. We just happen to like each other.
Coach, to me, Jake knows your system, and he is almost like having another coach in the huddle, whether it's during a timeout or on the floor. How valuable is that to you?
Well, it's great to have a voice that's positive, and I think he does that on and off the floor. He's been really positive, and the guys listen to him because he leads by example on the floor. He understands, a couple of games ago, we're yelling Zoom from the bench. He knows it's Zoom. He steps in front of a pass. That's a defensive call for us. He goes and lays it up twice against the team. Being able to take those things in 4 years, in the 2 years he wasn't able to play, he was able to learn about the game and grow as a player. And not all guys can do that. And it's a credit to him that he was able to do that in the midst of going through tough stuff. He used it to his benefit, which now is helping us.
Also, Jake, when the game gets to crunch time, it may be 10 minutes to go, it may be 5 minutes to go, we need a key steal, there may be 1 minute to go, we need a key free throw. You are the coolest customer on the floor. The rest of us are squirming. We've got our fist in a knot. You're as cool as a cucumber. Growing up in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, was that always cool, Jake?
Well, it's cold there, so
it is cold. We used to joke and say this little thing with me and my friends back in high school, that you got ice water in your veins. There was always this idea that when it came time, that you'd kind of be ready to make the big play. And it was always something I wanted to be able to do, and once again, there's a little bit of luck involved. The thing is, you got to wait for the opportunity. Some people are there, and there's plays that can be made, but they might not be ready for it. So we could be in a close game, but you just stay cool. And when you get an opportunity to make a play, go ahead and do it.
Jake, as we tape this evening, we've won 10 games on the season. We've won 2 of the 3 of our first conference games. How exciting is that for you and the members of this team, knowing what great opportunity lies ahead in the months of January and February?
Well, we've had great explosive power on a lot of the teams in the past, and we've made a little bit of noise. But I think the thing with our team right now is we have a little more consistency. And to be honest, with 10 wins right now, I mean, we have a big goal. We're trying to hit 20 on the season, if not more. And these guys all believe in each other. I'm really lucky to have the teammates that I do, and I think we can make a big run at it. I'm excited.
Now, the non-conference games were very exciting, but now it's crunch time. Every single game counts. What's the sentiment of this team, knowing every game is a conference game and counts in the all-important standings?
Well, I think every day in practice, before and after, we talk about hanging the banner up in the gym. We want to take this conference. Everyone's got their eyes on Belmont. We know that. We played them tough at their place, and we're going to play them tougher at ours. And I I think the confidence in our guys that we give to each other is really valuable.
All right, Jake, we know the Green Bay Packer fan in you is going to bring out greatness. Packers keep winning Super Bowls. Jake Golin's going to lead us to a conference championship.
Yeah, let's do it, Jake.
Let's do it, baby.
All right, from Wild Wings Cafe in Macon, Georgia, you're watching Inside Mercer Basketball.
Service department is out of sight. You can pull in the garage over there and they will meet you before you cut the engine off. They know you by name. How can I help you, Mr. Ross? I can't, get that kind of service no place else but here at 5 Star. All of my friends, I always tell them what good service you get at 5 Star. I love to talk and I like to tell the truth.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
Back at Wild Wings Cafe in Macon, Georgia, we're talking Inside Mercer Basketball with head coach Bob Hoffman. Well, Coach, we're in a conference plays. We pointed out several times this evening. Thus far, in the 3 games, we're having success in the conference, 2-1. But as the conference standings and various statistics are rolling out, a lot of those are on the defensive side of the ball, which is really going to win a lot of games. You've got to be pleased with the defensive structure of your team and how well they're playing. That's going to allow you to win some conference games.
Well, our assistant coach is doing a great job on scouting reports. And then beyond that, their breakdown drills that they've done from the beginning of the year to now and even last spring has been tremendous in preparing for this team to be a defensive team. There's no secret out there in college basketball for those that know me and see me coach that most people would equate us to being an offensive coach. But even wherever we've been, we've always played better defense than we've been given credit for. This team, though, is unique in that one moves, they all move, they move together, and they understand what it takes to win a game doing that every night.
Now, at this point in the season, Mercer and Belmont have won 10 games. We knew Belmont was the preseason favorite, but there are several other teams in this conference drastically improved. Let's talk about the North Floridas, the USC Upstates, and the Florida Gulf Coast.
I mean, well, and Stetson too. I mean, almost every team's improved, and we've had some new coaches come in. We've had the older coaches that had long tenure. I mean, Upstate had South Carolina almost beat, had a chance to win. They've played tremendous. They're undefeated in conference as we speak right now. On the road, got 2 road victories already. Belmont is, like you said, we know who they are. Florida Gulf Coast has played everybody close. So they're really athletic. Stetson has won road games already. I mean, every year this conference has been the way it is as far as you don't know who's going to win. I think it may be even more that way this year in that the bottom's closer to the top than it's ever been. So I think we're going to have some amazing games down the stretch, different than people believe or perceive going into league play.
Now, among the categories that this team has continued to improve, there is another area you've improved, attendance. You're averaging second in the conference in folks who are coming to games at home. I know you're real proud of how we have improved our attendance, and boy, what a great help the 6th man can be for Mercer and the University Center.
Well, it's been great. I mean, the other night we played at home, and it's during students aren't there. It's holidays, and you look around. And I know my first year it might be, I don't know, 600-700. I know before I came they said they averaged 700 a game. I know we're way over 2,000 a game. That's a credit to the whole athletic department, everybody. I think even our players, how they carry themselves, how they play. Everywhere I go, just like you mentioned, they talk about how hard they play, how they play together, and then just little things like after the game, they're going up the stands. I think there's just a lot of community involvement that's been huge. The conference tournaments, the visibility of big name opponents coming in, the administration spending money on marketing and different things that you have something to do with. So I think it's been, everybody has had a focus.
Yeah.
The focus has been good. We got to find a way to continue that in the days ahead with these tough conference games we have at home.
Now the next statement I'm going to make might catch you off guard a little bit, but you're going to get real. You're going to get real excited. The conference tournament is next month.
I hear you.
We're that close. We're that close. How excited and is this team and Mercer University to once again host the Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament?
7 weeks. They have it here again, Middle Georgia. It's a huge thing for us. It's a perfect place for it to be. First of all, conference office is here. We're in the middle of all the conference teams. We're excited what can transpire. We've been really close. Had great crowds. We've been talking about all over. All the civic clubs everywhere we've been, we've been knocking at the door. We got to find a way to knock that door down one time, and it would be a great year to do it.
Coach, it's been a pleasure this evening. We're going to do this every week here at Wild Wings Cafe. Going to be a lot of fun. We invite folks in the Macon area to join us on each week as we take here at Wild Wings Cafe.
Yeah,
thanks for
awesome.
Wild Wings. It's been great, and we'll be back with you again next week as we talk more inside Mercer basketball with head coach Bob Hoffman.